Most of the world live in scarcity. Chances are they live in scarcity when it comes to their finances, their opportunities, even dating and partners and fucking or whatever the hell you niggas want to do. But the truth of the matter is that abundance is not only your birthright, but it is what happens when you align yourself with the consciousness of the infinite intelligence, which is what you should do. Now, more often than not, as I just said, most of us live in scarcity. And unfortunately, until we can come to a true definition on the spiritual science or the spiritual definition of what abundance is, you won't be able to materialize abundance to any degree, assuming that is what you want. Because why the fuck wouldn't you want abundance, right? Like, why wouldn't anybody want abundance? So it's important that we understand the metaphysics of abundance, because once you understand the metaphysics of abundance, only then can you be in a position to experience abundance physically. Before anything can exist physically, it first must exist vibrationally on earth, as it is in heaven, as within, as without. And until you can arrange yourself on the highest levels of existence from a place of abundance, it will not be able to touch your career, your dating life, your finances, your business, or whatever it is you want to materialize. Because as always, as I say, spirituality without the ability to alter your reality or control your reality is vanity. Let's get into it. Oh, did you notice like this? Like,
why is that?
He's like holding his pockets. His pockets are empty.
Okay. Robin Miller 7 days, Robin like hours.
Oh, it feels good to be back in front of the board. What are you laughing at?
I just seen this comment. I just know somebody's girl is just geeked right now seeing Nero upload.
Nasty business.
It's
Devilish
true,
work.
It's true,
Diabolical behavior.
It's true.
That is not nice.
I see some men are loving the one-word titles as well.
No, real talk.
They're saying, you know it's serious when the title is only one word. Real?
No, that's real. And abundance is such an important word. So many people desire abundance without truly understanding what it is from a point of metaphysics. And that's the only way you're going to alter things physically, because the irony is so many of us desire abundance and spend doing everything we physically can to acquire it. And we see our family go through the same thing, working tirelessly to attempt to attain some degree of abundance without ever coming to the recognition that until you understand how to alter your state of consciousness, your self-concept, your frequency, which are all interchangeable terms for the same thing, by the way. Until you can do that and align yourself with abundance, you'll be aligned to scarcity, because unfortunately you can't sit in two chairs at once. The man that chases two rabbits catches neither, as it is said. So you're either sitting in the chair of abundance or the chair of scarcity. So make sure you lock in, take notes, and make sure you leave them in the comments as usual.
And you can't sit in two chairs at once. You
take purple. Oh.
On your knees, boy.
What? That
you dropped it, innit?
That is crazy. All right, cool. So let's start off by defining what abundance is. Now, let's not limit our thinking. Typically, whenever people think of abundance, it's always attached to finances. But abundance isn't just limited to finances until you say so, because the moment that you begin to limit or restrict something internally, you begin to restrict it externally. Because the truth of the matter is there's no truth in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true. If you can only perceive abundance to be on one particular level, then you hinder or you restrict other aspects of your life where you can experience that same degree of abundance. So abundance, quite simply, to most people is having bare money, like having lots of money. But that's not what abundance, all of that. That's what AJ is doing behind the camera. But that's not what abundance is. Remember this definition of abundance, because all abundance comes down to this one level. And if you can understand this one sentence, you can unlock abundance. And I'm not saying that as an exaggeration. I'm saying that because this is the true alignment of what abundance is. All abundance comes down to is having more than enough. Anything that you have more than enough of, that is abundance, whether that's finances, whether that's opportunities, whether that's potential clients in your business, whether that's potential dating partners, all of that stuff. All of it comes down to having more than enough. And until you can allow this one central sentence or idea, concept, thought, belief to quite literally marinate in your mind, you will be aligned to scarcity. Because the unfortunate thing about abundance and scarcity, to revert back to what I just said, is that you can't sit in two chairs at once. And if you're not sat in abundance, then you're sitting into some degree of scarcity. Now, abundance is having more than enough. And I'll give you an example of this, right? And I used to do this example all the time with AJ. Typically people think abundance is always limited to some finances, but as I said, that limitation then actually places a particular boundary, because beliefs are nothing more than boundaries, and your beliefs will be the boundary of what you can materialize in reality. And let's borrow that down. So it's your limitation on what scarcity can mean outside of finances which limits it. It's just having more than enough. And for example, what's an abundant amount of money to you, AJ?
100 mil.
There you go, 100 mil. To you, it'll be something else. To somebody else, it'll be something else. To me, it's something else. And that just goes to show that abundance isn't something that can be objectively defined. But generally speaking, it's simply having more than enough. It's simply having excess. It's simply having surplus. So whatever it is you want abundance in, you need to align whatever it is you want, your desire, harmonize your desire with this one sentence, having more than enough. Because the truth of the matter is, so many of us spend our lives actually stating the opposite. You grow up in a ghetto like me, the one normal idea is I ain't got enough. That's the one idea that perpetually continues to almost infect every aspect of our mind. Whether it's we're looking at a goal that we want to attain. And by the way, when you look at a goal, that means you're separated from it. And so long as you're separated from it internally, you'll be separated from it externally. Instead of looking at a goal, you need to look from your goal, because your viewpoint on reality determines what you can see. What you see is determined by your viewpoint. And if you're looking at your goal, that means you're separated from your goal. But if you're looking from your goal, that indicates to reality that you are already in your goal, due to the fact of what I call a perception projection leap, which I have a whole chapter of that in my book, which may not or may be out. I'm not sure when it'll be out. It depends what time this video comes up, but nigga, check the description, you'll find it. If it's there, get it. If not, then don't. But perception projection, your perception is directly interconnected to the way that you perceive things. Most of us have been trained and conditioned and programmed by the world to believe in the idea that we don't have enough, whether it's finances, whether it's opportunities, no matter what it is. The central idea that unfortunately, unconsciously, negatively corrupts our mind to some degree or not is the idea of not having enough. And I'll show you how abundance and scarcity are actually two polarities of each other. And because they're two polarities, they are the two chairs. Nah, it feels good to be back in front of this whiteboard, man.
You should tell them how you were tweaking.
Tweaking how? I tweak a lot.
To come back here.
Oh, yes. I just came back from the Maldives, guys. And the whole time I was out there, I was just thinking, I just want to get back to work, to be honest.
This guy was in the Maldives thinking about coming back to a box office.
It's not a box office. It's my books. It's the energy.
I'll call it attachment issues.
Oh, God. You might be right. Cool. So, let me use two different colors. Let's go. Cool. So we'll go abundance and blue. Can't keep your hands on me. Touch me right there. Rub my body. Why did niggas in school say that Sierra was a man?
Did they?
Did you ever hear that? That was people used to say that all the time. Let me know in the comments if you heard that too. I don't know why people said that. Anyways, abundance and scarcity. These are two polarities of each other. Polarities is nothing more than a fancy way of saying separation, which exists within this third dimensional realm, and it only exists within this third dimensional realm. Within this third dimensional realm, everything comes in energetic pairs of opposites. You have masculine, feminine, yin, yang, scarcity, abundance, rich, poor, negative, positive, good, bad, man, woman. That's polarity which exists in this third dimensional realm. Now, what you have to understand about those particular concepts is that they only exist in the third dimensional realm. Listen to what I'm saying. They only exist in the third dimensional realm. They only, say it with me, they only exist in the third dimensional realm. Outside of this third dimensional realm, which we call reality, what the Hermetics call the physical plane, what the ancient Hindus call the world of Maya, outside of this illusionary realm, everything is oneness. Hence why in quantum mechanics they have this concept known as quantum entanglement, which is when two particles are connected, no matter how far separated they become across the universe. What you do to one, it's instantly done to another, because you're no longer confined by space-time constraints. So outside of our reality, everything's a particular degree of oneness. But within our reality, it's important that you understand, despite abundance and scarcity being experienced and physically experienced as something different, they are one, the same energy, and they have one difference. And that one difference is their rate of vibration. That's the only thing that separates them. Now you might be thinking, what does that mean, Nero? Well, think about it like steam and ice. Steam and ice are the same energy, simply different rates of vibration. Once you alter the vibratory rate of steam, it can become ice. And once you alter the vibratory rate of ice, it can turn into steam. It's the same energy. The only difference is the rate of vibration. Now pay very close attention to what vibration is determined by, because if you are experiencing a particular degree of scarcity, which, as I said, can be extrapolated to your business, it can be extrapolated to your career, even dating partners, finances, money. If you are experiencing a particular degree of scarcity, let's say that this is you. Don't know why, like, the neck is a bit slanted, but anyways, if this is you, then if you want to go from scarcity to abundance, then the only thing you have to change is what? If it's the same energy, the only difference is the rate of vibration. The only thing you have to change is, AJ?
The rate of vibration.
Bingo. If you can change your rate of vibration, I have to draw it slanted now, there you go. If you can change your rate of vibration, you can move from one side to the other. So then the $1 million question is, how do I change my rate of vibration, Nero? Relax, you're gonna get some. It's simply determined by, and remember this because it rhymes, your concentration/focus. What you don't realize is that your concentration/focus is a heavenly currency. And the issue is we spend instead of invest our attention, which comes back down to the fact that most of us that grow up in a particular condition of scarcity, remember these words. It may not be direct focus. I'm not saying your mind is saying scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. That's why you're experiencing it. But if your concentration or focus determines your rate of vibration, your vibration, eventually vibration, when it gets momentum, it becomes a frequency, and all frequency is immaterialized reality, and reality is materialized frequency. Frequency is interchangeable with your state of consciousness. It's also interchangeable with your self-concept. Self-image, identity, it's all the same thing. It's all the fucking same thing. Don't get bogged down in particular schools of thought and get to some degree of superiority complex with particular authors or concepts or all of this and all of that. Keep your mind free. Be multidimensional with your mind. Don't be one-dimensional. It's all the same thing. Vibration gets momentum, becomes frequency, frequency becomes reality. So the beginning point is concentration or focus. And it all comes down to these. You are either concentrating or focusing on aspects of your life that either imply scarcity, pay very close attention, imply scarcity, resonate with scarcity, or reflect scarcity. This is the mistake that is being made. And I'll go into scarcity right now. Let's go into the spiritual science of scarcity, because you have to understand what scarcity is from a point of frequency. Because once you understand it from a point of frequency, you understand it energetically. When you understand it energetically, you understand it vibrationally. When you understand it vibrationally, you begin to understand it physically, so you can undo the scarcity that you're experiencing, because chances are you have a particular degree of scarcity. But the truth of the matter is, like I said at the start of this video, abundance has been sold to you as a privilege, but it is actually a birthright of being the materialization of God. And that's what bar write that down, because how the fuck can the creator be infinite? That creator also dwells in you within the temple, which is you, as it says in Corinthians. John 10:34, isn't it written in your law, I've said ye are gods, referencing Psalm 82:6. You have to come to the understanding that when you're the materialization of God, the aspect of God is within you. This is what the Gnostics call the divine spark. There's an aspect of God that is within you, so the infinite is within you. You're almost like a water bottle. Let's say you went to the ocean, you got a water bottle and you scooped it up, and you literally now have the ocean encased in limitation. The properties and the qualities align with the greater ocean, right? That's what we are. We're droplets from the ocean of God. So that would mean that if the creator is infinite abundance, they're synonymous, then abundance is truly your natural state. But you've been conditioned out of it. So there's actually more to unlearn than there is to learn.
You got this long ass email. It's a nice email though. It's a nice email.
Go for it.
Hello, Nero. I trust you are all well and having. I trust you are all well and having a blessed week thus far. I'm writing this email all the way from South Africa, Johannesburg, and man, am I pumped.
Sally Bonan.
What was that?
Continue, bro. Don't worry.
Is that hello or something?
Yeah.
Fairs. I blessed the day my friend Pumla introduced me to your content, 11/11/2024, to be exact, image attached. Since I've binged your content, watched almost every video of yours, made countless notes. I'm on my second notebook, videos attached below.
Impressive.
Real. Right now, and most importantly, I have implemented 80% of everything you have been teaching us. I could not wait to send you this email after. If you are still struggling to manifest, watch this ASAP. I'll always watch through with the task that you give us, and I sat down and wrote down everything I have manifested since starting my journey with your content. Prepare to be blown away because even I am. Oh. Like, what? All my manifestations are truly instant, and I've experienced this from November 2024 up until now because of my state of consciousness.
Nice.
The understanding I have and the emotions I carry within me daily. So here goes. Firstly, when I was introduced to you, there's a video you said you were starting to put things out where we want to manifest. I had assured knowing that it would happen. So I wrote my first manifestation down. A BMW black convertible. I was very specific because I wanted to see how detailed my manifestation could be when it shows up. Just a day and a half later, randomly at a car wash, a black BMW convertible pulls up right next to that car. I'm guessing right next to her car. Where is it? Right next to my car. I screamed, almost fell out my chair because it was so specific. How it just parked next to my Ford so I don't miss it. The emotional charge I carry from that moment has been the reason I'm manifesting like crazy. That's just one email.
So basically she done the manifestation muscle thing. For you guys that don't know what she's referencing, if you haven't watched that video, I have a video on manifestation muscle, which is, I equate manifestation to be some type of skill. Even though something we all unconsciously do, you can get better at it. And more often than not, people want to materialize things that are outside the frame of reference of their subconscious mind. If you make $0 a month and you want to materialize $1 million a month, you have to understand that even though there is no big or small to the infinite, there's big or small to you consciously. And unfortunately, you need to take into consideration the frame of reference from which your subconscious mind would perceive a goal. So I'd start off going in small increments. So let's say you have one particular goal, which is huge. Break it down into smaller, closer things. Not saying that you have to do that each and every single time and go incrementally to your goal, but understanding that when you materialize something such as manifesting, seeing a car in a specific color, specific model, that reiterates to your mind that, oh shit, I create my reality. That interjects more confidence into your mind. Confidence will then convert to conviction, and the more of that you have, the easier you'll have over time when it comes to saying, I'm going to materialize this. So that's what she's referencing. Continue, AJ.
Hello again, Nero. So here goes. In 2024, I wrote about the emotional charge. She had visualized the credit card debt being paid off before 2024 December. Nero, I knew it would happen. How? I also did not know or care, but I wrote that feeling that it is done. Guess what happened after?
What happened?
December 2024, the day just before I went away for 2 weeks on company leave I work for. Been with them for 2 years and 3 months only. They decided to randomly, after 15 years of being operational, to pay all staff members December bonuses according to how we work, attendance, etc. Nero, did I not get a payout that covered all my debts as well as some left over to spoil myself? I was in awe. I cried like a baby that entire evening at home. How on earth can something so wild like this happen? After 15 years of the company operating, it took one emotionally charged visualization for me to bring that to life. I was mind blown. I also manifested a fully paid trip back home to Durban.
Yeah.
Whoa, that December, all within a week. Since then, this is everything I've manifested. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Maybe.
Are you ready?
A fully paid project management course. Fully paid Valentine's weekend that I journaled about on the 31st of December. Random deposits into my bank account from people I know. Fully paid major car service from a crush. Brand new tires taken care of for me.
Metaphysical finesse.
My friends and I want to go to Zanzibar this year, and I have been saying I'm going on an all expense paid. All expense paid trip. The money for that trip has just been rolling in randomly from everywhere, and I'm so close to the target. I've been journaling about my savings account, having a very good start for the year. Does my mom not randomly send each of me and my siblings an amount of money that went straight into my savings from a big payout she got? I've been manifesting gifts and spoils out of nowhere from patients I work with, co-workers and people around me.
Bare metaphysical tricking.
That's crazy. Almost weekly.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. I've manifested help from managers and strangers, as well as I want to step into corporate health. The amount of help I've been getting with this transition of mine has been insane. Everyone is assisting me with getting the role of my dreams. My next manifestation I'm working on. My current job after watching Being on God's Payroll video, I manifested an opportunity within the company that is currently making me more money than my initial salary, just from a mindset shift after that video. My car had this petrol gauge issue for just over a year now. Did I not last month manifest it getting sorted from a referral after 2 other people failed to assist in the previous year, or from just emotionally charged visualization? It's been absolutely amazing. Truly, the esoteric chose me, and I could not be more thankful. I cannot wait to start working with you soon.
How lovely. How lovely. You ain't got to work with me. You sound like you got it. Sound like
Yeah,
I need to work with you. Sound like I need to work with you. What was her name?
What was her name? It doesn't actually... Precious.
Thank you, Precious.
Precious.
So, one thing that I remembered on the topic of the spiritual science of abundance is that it's esoterically hidden within Matthew 13:12. And this is just a short explanation that will be foundational for everything else that I'm about to get. So relax, you're going to get some. And the first time I read the scripture, it didn't make any particular sense to me. It actually quite pissed me off because it gave a macro view, metaphysical explanation as to why maybe the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and those that suffer continue to suffer while those who prosper continue to prosper. Because those things always used to piss me off. I'm even getting angry thinking about it. Just like growing up in the ends, or just seeing good people continue to struggle with their family members, my mom and my auntie, just thinking to myself, what's going on? And it all comes down to this particular scripture, which is Matthew 13:12. I'll get AJ to put it up on the screen, which says something to the effect of, for him who has, he'll be given abundance. But no, it says something to the effect of, for him who has, he'll be given abundance and even more abundance. But for him who does not have, even what he does have will be taken away. That's what the scripture says. So in essence, to paraphrase, for the individual who has, more will be given. The individual has abundance, even more will be given. But for the individual who does not have, even what they do have will be taken away. And that literally never made sense to me. So you're telling me that the people who have continue to get more. This can be extrapolated to opportunities, business, finances, careers, dating part. It just baffled me. And it's because hidden within the scriptures, the esoteric understanding that the truth of the matter is, until you can already shift to having your particular desired reality, you will not be in a particular alignment to being able to materialize it physically. Now, you have to understand something very, very important. As I said, there's 2 chairs you can sit in. There's abundance or scarcity. Another way of saying those is either having or not having. And unfortunately, you can only have what you already have. So for the opportunities that you desire, you must already have it. For the particular individual that you may want to materialize, you need to already have them. For that particular monthly income, you need to already have it. for that career promotion, you need to already have it, because you can only have what you already have. And if you don't have, this will be an indication that you don't have. So even when you do come within the grasp of it, it'll be taken away from you. For the individual who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. For the individual who does not have, even what they do have will be taken away. So I need you to understand, when I'm talking about scarcity and abundance, this isn't a fucking joke. Especially when you understand and magnify scarcity in all aspects of life and abundance in all aspects of life. This is very, very important that you understand the concept that we're talking about here. And you're taking those notes and you're making these mental implementations. It's very, very important that you do so. But let's get into the spiritual science of what scarcity is. We'll break it down from a point of mentality and then emotion, which will give us frequency, state of consciousness, or concept.
That verse is so true. I remember someone saying to me, why is it always the influencers that are already rich to get more free stuff?
Yeah, because they already have it. Like, why do you think millionaires always say, the first mill's the hardest? Because when you've got it, you've already got it. When you've already got it, more will be given to you. When you don't have it, it's almost like this uphill battle in a sense. But that's when you come to the true understanding that the human definition of having means fuck all. It doesn't mean anything. The human definition of having is being able to grasp something within this physical plane, but the universe acknowledges that this physical plane is an illusion, so it doesn't take it serious. So why the fuck are you taking it serious? In fact, you take the physical plane more serious than you, which is why you're chasing all the things that you desire as opposed to having those things chase you. And the only way you can chase them is by already having them, because the universal definition of having is vibrational possession, not physical possession. Vibrational possession, not physical possession. Because energy is the only thing that's real to the universe. And once you can align and become the vibrational alignment of your particular desired reality, at that point, you will have it from a point of what the universe acknowledges to be the only truth. All of that was a bar. Write that all down.
That was a verse, my nigga. That was a 16 bar.
Wait. All right, cool. Scarcity fits red, innit? Like, it fits red. Cool. So, scarcity, not having enough. That's what we can simplify the concept of scarcity to. Not having enough. This red isn't that good. Try this one. Yeah, better. Not having enough of whatever your particular desire is, whether it's opportunities, whether it's job opportunities, whether it's just opportunities in general, money, whatever it is. Scarcity can all be boiled down to not having enough. Now, let me ask you a question. How many times do you think things that resonate, imply, or reflect that you don't have enough? Man, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough this month. I don't have enough. How am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to get it? How am I going to get that job? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? You think things, you have a particular state of consciousness and a frequency that emanates to reality that resonates with the particular concept of not having enough. And unfortunately, if you don't have, you can't have, because you can only have what you already have. Hopefully this is starting to click now. And as I said, take this concept outside of money, because abundance and scarcity isn't just limited to money. Abundance is a way of thinking. It's a concept. When I walk outside and I'm in town, I'm like, fuck, there's an abundance of people in town today. When I'm in the Uber somewhere, I'm like, there's abundance of cars on the motorways. You need to train yourself to be able to see abundance everywhere. My bookshelf right here, there's an abundance of books behind me. Once you can train yourself to think abundantly, you're training yourself to see reality through an abundant lens, perception, projection, loop. The more that you can see the abundance in life, the more life will look at you in turn as an abundant individual. And that will be the first steps to attaining any particular degree of abundance. You must see reality as already abundant. Because if you don't see reality as abundant, you don't think there'll be enough for you to take. And if you don't think there'll be enough for you to take, you won't even prepare. And preparation is vibrational anticipation. So you won't even be able to anticipate anything. You'll be walking around reality with closed hands like this. So how the fuck could you ever receive what it is that you want when you don't think that you have it and you don't think you have enough? Come to the understanding very, very quickly that scarcity is no more than not having enough. And that's it from a point of your thoughts. But thoughts aren't enough, despite what these niggas would make you guys think, that it's all about your thoughts. Thoughts aren't as powerful as your heart. Your heart is the first organ that you get as a baby. It's the first organ that a creator gives to you. Not only that, what's it called? Hard math institution. There was an institution that came to the conclusion that we have two electromagnetic fields produced, one from our brain and one from our hearts. The one from the heart is 60 to 100 times more powerful than the one of the brain. Your heart is a more powerful field of electromagnetism than your brain. That's not to say that the brain's useless, but it's to come to the understanding that they need to be combined. Hence why I always say the language of the subconscious mind isn't repetition. That's long-winded. It's emotion, because one emotional experience can completely alter your state of consciousness. Look at experiences that we go through that are traumatizing. You only need to go through a traumatizing experience once for your entire consciousness to be completely altered. So why can't it be the reverse for your desired reality? And see, that's what Precious came to in her explanation of emotionally charged visualization. I got a video on the subconscious mind. I go in depth about that in my book, but that's it from a point of view of thoughts. Now, the emotions that indicate a particular degree of scarcity is worry, fretting, which is, I guess, just another form of worry, fear, and stress. When you combine the concept of not having enough with these emotions, long day. It's a long day. The combination of these particular two energies, emotional, mental, emits to a particular frequency that has to align with a reality of scarcity. And as I said, this can be extrapolated to multiple aspects of life. This can be finances. If you're thinking, how am I going to pay the bills? I don't have enough money. I don't have, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And you begin worrying, you begin fretting, you begin to feel fear, you begin to feel stress. That then aligns with scarcity, which ironically misaligns you from God. Now, what do niggas say hell is? Niggas say that hell is eternal separation from God, which is kind of funny because God is omnipresent, so you can't be separated from God. But esoterically, we understand that the eternal separation from God isn't an eternal separation. It's actually misalignment to the consciousness of God. Because when you're misaligned to the consciousness of God and you're thinking that I don't have enough, you're then falling for the game of what we conceptualize as the devil, which is what the devil said to Jesus. He said, when you can bow to me, you can have everything you can see here, which everything you can see here is just the fucking physical plane. The physical plane don't mean shit. It's nothing. And then you fall into the emotions that correspond with that particular concept of scarcity. You begin to worry, begin to fret. Then all of a sudden things become to be more difficult from a point of finances. Or we can even extrapolate it to your career. Let's say you want a promotion. You're thinking thoughts that resonate, imply, and reflect a particular degree of a scarcity when it comes to your career promotion. Oh, there's only one position. There's lots of us here. How am I gonna get it? You're beginning to think things that resonate, imply, and reflect scarcity. Then you're beginning to worry that you're going to not have it. And the truth of the matter is, those emotions can all be kind of boiled down to one word. Insecurity, emotional insecurity. That's what it all comes down to. Let's say dating, for example. Let's say you want to materialize a particular person, or you just want to fuck people. I don't care what you niggas want to do. I just care that you materialize what it is that you want. But let's say you have this particular concept of scarcity and not reflecting enough. Oh, there's not many good men out here. Oh, there's not a lot of good women out here. Or men aren't. What did they say? Men used to be men. Women used to be women. There's not a lot of good people anymore. Yada, 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 yada. Yada, 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 yada. All of those particular lines of thinking, combine that with the idea and the worry of not being able to attain a particular partner that is good, puts you into a position of worrying, fretting, fear, stressing, which is insecurity, which then misaligns you to the consciousness of God, which puts you in a state of hell, because hell is misalignment to the consciousness of the infinite intelligence. So then you experience a particular condition or circumstance that is no bueno. And this is scarcity. This is scarcity quite simply. And let's look at it like this, right? Let's make it real simple. Let's do some metaphysical mathematics. Let's say here is effect, and here is cause. Cause and effect. Let's say that a particular individual wants to experience a degree of abundance Bear in mind, effect is what we call reality. Reality is nothing more than effect. Reality is nothing more than effect. Reality is nothing more than effect. Say it with me. Reality is nothing more than an effect. So trying to change an effect by changing an effect won't do much for you. But let's say an individual desires the effect of abundance. You desire to experience abundance in reflection of your finances, dating, career, opportunities, whatever it is, on one level. But let's then say that from a point of cause, you're in a mode of scarcity. Every cause has an effect and every effect has a cause. This don't make no fucking sense. If your cause is scarcity, what's your effect going to be, AJ?
Scarcity.
Which is the entire game. And people think they can outrun their state of consciousness. People think they can outrun their frequency. People think they can outrun their self-concept. You can't. You can't be in a particular mode of scarcity and attempt to create abundance physically. If you want to try that, just look at everybody in the fucking world that works themselves to the absolute bone, but nothing changes. And these are the circumstances that most of us grow up in. These are the circumstances we see our loved ones go through. And it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. And it's all due to the fact that they're attempting to outrun their state of consciousness, their self-concept. As Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the state of consciousness you entered it in. You can't. Which would mean that you need to alter your state of consciousness or your state of mind to one degree or another. So if you have scarcity as a cause, then best believe that your effect is also going to be a particular degree of scarcity.
What's the cause? Cause is thinking or state of consciousness.
Bingo.
Okay.
Your cause is your frequency, which I always characterize frequency as a combination of your beliefs, your emotionally charged thoughts, your attentional focus, your expectations, your convictions, and your general moods or attitudes. Write all of those down. I have a video on that. I don't know what it's called, but it's there somewhere. Now, that equates to a particular frequency, self-concept, state of consciousness. And that's what the cause is. Cause is everything that I just mentioned, but for simplicity's sake, we'll say mind. So you now need to analyze, have I been scarce in what it is that I'm trying to attain? Because how the fuck are you going to experience abundance physically if you're experiencing scarcity mentally? It's not going to work. Which now is going to require for you to think to yourself, what have I been focusing on? Have I been focusing on aspects of my life that resonate that I don't have enough, that there's not enough coming in, that there's not enough of this, things that imply that there's not enough of this, things that reflect there's not enough of this, or quite literally directly the thought itself, I don't have enough, there's not enough. What are the emotions that I've been occupying? The emotions I've been occupying, do they reflect a particular degree of insecurity? Because if so, that insecurity is then going to lead to me being misaligned from the consciousness of God. When you're misaligned from the consciousness of God, you step into the esoteric definition of hell, which is separation. This is the metaphysics of scarcity. We need to understand the metaphysics of abundance now. By the way, if you're an entrepreneur who wants to 2 to 5x their revenue in the next couple of weeks without making any changes to your business, then check the link in the description. I'm hired by Hollywood actors, Premier League football players, NFL athletes, 6 to 8 figure entrepreneurs. I recently had a client called Oliver, shout out Oliver, join. He actually should be in Dubai by now. I hope he had a successful move because I know you watch my videos. He joined me, and within 3 days, he's a trader, ended up making 150k in 3 days. I'll get the screenshot put up right now. Without making any changes to his strategy, to his business, because the truth of the matter is, if we can alter you on the highest levels of consciousness, then everything else becomes easy or false and lying. But damn, this board's wet.
You know what else is wet? Canada.
Yeah, rain and snow right now, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it's a shame. Bro, if I was gonna say something outrageous.
You know we got no PR training. It's mad. I see people being cancelled for the shit we say behind closed doors.
I have seen that. Ooh.
Let's be honest, guys. We'd all be cancelled. Let's be honest now, guys. Let's be honest. We'd all be cancelled.
It's a nice clean whiteboard still. I like how you clean that thing.
We got any more comments?
Let me see.
Purple's a pretty abundant color, if you ask me, right?
Purple was a nice color. Oh.
Yeah, I'll go purple. Let's see which ones.
Him admitting that he can't even hate on whoever pirated his course.
Him as in me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Him admitting that he can't even hate on whoever pirated his course, because when a ninja was broke, he did the same thing, was real AF. And anyone that is true to this and not new to this can relate. On the early days of my journey, I was finding as much free stuff as I could. For one, I didn't have it, but also I was still in a impoverished, whoa, impoverished mindset, and didn't understand the power of being willing to invest in yourself. But
he's talking about me saying that I'm cool with people pirating my shit and get my shit for free. Yeah, I used to do that.
Even your book that's not even out yet.
Yeah, niggas already pre-planning to pirate my book ahead of time, which is hilarious.
I'll leak his book.
Because if I was down too, I would have done it too. That's the only leak you lot will ever get from me. Niggas see Nero leaks. Just know it's just gonna be a book. Alright, cool. So to get into the frequency of abundance, it's simple. Let this thought marinate into your mind. Inject it into your head as often as you can while combining with the emotions that I'm about to put down here. Abundance, as I said, is having more than enough. More than enough. Things that reflect having more than enough. Things that imply. By the way, I saw a woman make a TikTok about me. It's got like 500k views, putting people on. I appreciate that. After that, I've been getting lots of people making videos saying, "Oh, go watch Nero. He's good. He's whatever." I actually really appreciate that. That's actually really nice. Thank you. Apply or resonate. Perfect. So abundance is having more than enough, thinking things that either reflect, yikes, imply or resonate.
What did you say, inflect?
I think I said implect.
Yeah,
that was bad. Things that reflect, imply, or resonate with the concept of having more than enough. But remember, it's not just having more than enough. We go back to Matthew 13:12. It's having full stop. Full stop, having. Now, typically, abundance is a state of consciousness. As me and AJ said, he said 100 mil is an abundant amount of money to him. Somebody else would say 10 billion. Somebody else would say 5 million. Some niggas would say 5K. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? To me,
yeah,
an abundant amount of money.
Yeah,
I already say like 500 mil or a billion. But that's the illusion that the world wants you to think. That abundance is a monetary amount. Abundance isn't a monetary amount because it's all relative, which lets you know that abundance is a state of consciousness. And this is true abundance. True abundance is thinking from the consciousness of God, the infinite. The scarcity is demonic. Niggas will be like, oh, this is new age spirituality. This isn't it. No. Guys, I have books that are thousands of years old. If you even when you look into Hermeticism, that goes back to the 2nd, 3rd century and even predates that, especially if we're going back into more ancient civilizations. There's nothing new about this. In fact, religion is what's new, if we're being entirely honest. Religion is what's new age, if you're looking at it from a point of chronological history, and all that takes a simple search on Google or ChatGPT. So please, pack it in, mate. Give it a rest. But state of consciousness, that's what abundance is. It's a state of consciousness to which you are secure, satisfied. Quite simply, those are the emotions of abundance. When anybody's in a particular state of abundance, it's security and satisfaction, or maybe over-satisfaction. Either way, all you need to do to unlock a particular degree of abundance in your life in reflect of whatever your desired reality is to combine this emotional state with this mental state. Emotional state with mental state. Emotional state with mental state. You need to inject the idea into your head that I have more than enough. The one thought that I inject into my head wherever I go is, I have more money than I can spend. Why? Because that is a thought that reflects implies and resonates with having more than enough. Extrapolate this to whatever your desire is, whether it's partners, whether it's a career opportunity, whether it's career promotion, whether it's business, whether it's sales, whether it's clients. Please extrapolate this to anything. It's the idea that you have more than enough and you must enter a particular state of consciousness of feeling secure and satisfied. Combine that emotion, because the irony is, the mistake that your mind tricks you into thinking is that when I attain X amount of money, when I attain X amount of partners or partner, or I attain this career promotion, or I attain X amount of, clients in my business, then I will feel abundant. No, you need to feel abundant in order to unlock those things, because what you deem to be the destination is the prerequisite to you actually getting to the destination. The fuel that will drive you to your desired reality will be, ironically, how you think you'll feel upon attaining that particular state of that particular reality. And you have to understand, you can't wait for the world to show you abundance, because the world will never prove you to be abundant before you prove to the world that you are abundant. And until you can enter and see the scarcity that you are experiencing as abundance, you will not possess the ability to transmute it. You need to look at the air quote scarcity you have as more than enough. Because at that point, due to the fact that reality is an illusion based upon our perception, once you alter your perception, you alter the projection that you end up recycling back into your mind, which will alter what you're projecting outside of you. You need to look at the scarcity, air quote, as abundance, because until you can stand in scarcity, in a state of abundance, you will not be ready to enter a particular degree of abundance. And this is what I do with all of my clients. You have to be able to stand in a reality of scarcity, in the mentality of abundance. And the only way you can do that is by making yourself feel secure and satisfied, which ironically you think the world makes you feel a certain way and you react to the world, but no, the world reacts to you, and how you feel is what the world then magnifies. So if you alter how you feel, which you can literally make yourself feel secure. Just relax. It's quite literally that simple. And don't let your mind overcomplicate you and think, how can I relax down here? Because that particular difficulty is nothing more than the old frequency attempting to stay by making things and obfuscating things and making it more difficult than it has to be. Simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. It's literally just a simple decision to literally just say, I want to feel secure. I'm going to feel calm. I'm going to feel peaceful. I'm going to feel relaxed. Because ironically, if you felt these things, these would be an indication that you are abundant. So if they're an indication that you're abundant, if you want the world to recognize you as abundance and experience abundance, then you first must be in what the world would, what you've corresponded to be the state that you'd be in upon attaining that abundance to be there now. By transcending time and coming to the understanding that whatever your particular desired reality is, you already have it, by giving yourself an emotionally intense experience of security, satisfaction, calm, peace, and relaxation. That would indicate to your mind that you're in abundance. Combine that with the mental state that you already have more than enough in reflection of whatever it is. Anything that reflects, implies, and resonates with the idea of abundance. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the metaphysics of abundance.